What's up guys, Skippy the Loremaster here. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be doing the first of many history videos. Now today specifically we're going to be talking about the top 5 richest people in history. Now there's major debate among historians and economists about who truly is the richest person in history based on inflation rates and based on several different statistics, some gathering of wealth and many other different statistics that dictates whether or not you are truly the richest person in history. But today I will give you my best approximation and based off my research who I believe is the top 5 richest people in history. Now these people and these individuals of great power and great wealth during that time made people of great power and great wealth during our time, such as Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, make them look very, very minuscule based on their overall power and how much they wielded, how much wealth they truly wielded at this time. Now, going on to number 5, for the 5th richest person in history, I have Mansa Musa. Now, Mansa Musa was the ruler of the Mali Empire, one of the greatest empires in African history. And he is known as the Golden King, or the Golden Emperor, so to speak, because he controlled 90% of the overall world GDP in for 9% for the overall gold in all of the world, which is fascinating, truly, about how someone can control that much gold. Because gold is such a commodity nowadays that it dictates currency and it dictates the value of currency in a lot of situations. And he was able to dominate this trade throughout all of Africa, throughout the Middle East, and throughout Asia and Europe. And it goes to show you that this idea of Eurocentrism being, the Europe at the center of everything is truly not the greatest thing to follow in history, because at this time, Africa, more specifically Mansa Musa's empire, the Mali Empire, was truly at the top of the world, and one of the most powerful and sophisticated societies that the world has ever seen, up there with Great Zimbabwe and the Axiom Empire of Africa and the Swahili nations. And he contributes to this African history that is so rich and so deep. And Mansa Musa was a great leader, great statesman, great politician, who showed off his vast wealth to many people, and many stories even include about how he had hundreds of camels and great elephants filled to the brim with gold and luxurious items, silver, silk, and many other different commodities that would be considered and linked to wealth nowadays. And he had taken this voyage and this pilgrimage all the way from his western Mali Empire to modern-day Mecca, the ancient city of Mecca, which is Saudi Arabia, which is the Middle East, very far away. And actually, he's the modern-day inspiration behind the Aladdin, whenever Aladdin came into the city, Prince Ali, and he's the modern-day inspiration behind that, showing off his wealth. And he actually brought so much wealth with him and so much gold stocked up on the elephants and the camels and his servants and his military men that he actually caused major inflation within local economies in there, because whenever you bring in so much wealth, it creates devaluing of currency. And I just believe that to be so fascinating. Now for number 4, the 4th richest person in history, I would have to say is Augustus Caesar. Augustus Caesar was the first Roman emperor of the first true Roman Empire after Julius Caesar was assassinated. Julius Caesar being his great uncle, the person he's most famous for, and someone who you probably know more about than Augustus. And Julius Caesar was the great general of the Roman Empire, conquering the Gauls and even getting to Britain, and doing so many other different things that are like super famous for the Roman Empire. But Augustus took it and he did more economic reforms. And he actually started the great period in Roman history known as Pax Romana, the Great Roman Peace. And the peace lasted about 200 to 300 years, which if you put that in perspective, that is insane. The United States has been around for about 250 years, and we've had several major conflicts in our history, while Rome had practically none. And this great Pax Romana, which was spurred by the leadership that Augustus gave, brought extreme wealth and extreme prosperity to the lands and to the Roman Empire. And all of the things that we associate with Roman culture today, with the gigantic aqueducts and most famously the Roman Colosseum and the hippodromes and the great structures are associated with Pax Romana and that time period. where they were able to build all these different things. And Augustus Caesar's leadership led the Roman Empire to accumulate up to 28% of the overall world's GDP. Now, when you put that into perspective, the United States is the biggest empire, the biggest economy currently right now in the world, and they only have about 15% of the overall world GDP versus 28% of the Roman Empire. And Augustus Caesar privately owned half of that. And funny, he privately owned the whole country of Egypt. And he used that to expand his vast wealth in the Great Nile River Valley. And he used a lot of his resources around the empire to make himself even just that much more powerful, that much richer. Now, on to number 3. The third richest person in history is Akbar the First. Now, Akbar the First is one of the emperors of the Mughal dynasty, one of the greatest dynasties in Indian history. And he connected the Indian subcontinent for one of the first times, other than Ashoka the Great and Sandragupta. And he is known as a peace bringer and a trader. And he led to some of the greatest innovations in Indian Ocean trade. And he actually traded with, as I've said before, the Swahili nations of Africa and of European nations. And this brought vast wealth to his empire, vast wealth for him. And he was able to build gigantic castles for himself and lavish homes and all kinds of other different things that is truly awe-inspiring even to this day. And he also destroyed this tax that was levied on the poor, which helped them to get back up on their feet and work more towards his wealth. And he was a great bringer of peace and a great bringer of economic prosperity. Now, there's not a lot known for him beyond this because of the records at the time, but he was a great man and a great businessman. And then the second richest person in history is Shenzong, Emperor Shenzong of the Shao Dynasty of China. And Emperor Shenzong ruled as one of the greatest emperors. The only person who I would have to say is actually greater than him as an emperor of China is Qin Shi Huang, the person who first united all of China under one country, under one state, and under one state of mind. Now, Emperor Shenzong did many things. He made many economic, made many social, militarily reforms across the whole nation, which benefited not only his people, but the people around his country. And he actually created one of the first modern welfare systems in which he gave the poor the resources that they need to get off their feet and work. Now, this in turn also led to more workers for him, and he, under his regime, led to several different agricultural revolutions and several agricultural innovations in the Yellow River and the Yangtze River valleys, which led to not only more food, which equals more people, which equals more taxes for him to grow his wealth and to grow his empire, all in all. Now, for the first richest person in history, it would have to be Genghis Khan. Now, Genghis Khan is a very controversial figure. He, by one side, is seen as a great unifier and a great bringer of peace and empathy and solidarity as a human species. But then, by most historians, he is considered this evil, brutish barbarian who killed tens of millions, upwards of actually 60 million by approximations, of people in the world, which was a large part of the population at the time, just to contribute to his own power, and as we're talking about in this video, his wealth. Because he pillaged several wealthy kingdoms throughout Asia, throughout Eastern Europe, and nearly even getting to Japan. Very wealthy area. The only reason why, because of natural disaster destroying his fleets and whatnot. Now, I will not get into my opinion of what he is. I think it's a mixture of both, more leaning towards the power aspect, but he did do a lot of things that was great instead of killing 60 million people. He is widely considered the first green conqueror, as many scientists and many historians have come together to say, because he killed actually so many people that it decreased the carbon dioxide levels in the atmosphere by millions and millions of decibels, or however you measure that. actually led to less destruction of the environment. So that's why he's called the first green conqueror, and I find that fascinating. And he also led to the true establishment of the Silk Road. And even though the Silk Road had been established hundreds of years beforehand as a bulwark between trade in the east with the great Indian empires in the Indian subcontinent, such as the Mughal dynasty and the emperor of China and the Shao dynasty and the Qin Shi Huang's regimes and whatnot, and trading with the east and with the west, with Europe and Eastern Europe and different things like that, and Africa as well. It led to a trade of ideas, resources, commodities, and just ways of understanding different people. And he led to the true establishment of it, and actually built several more roads added to the Silk Road, because the Silk Road isn't just one single road, it's a complex system of many roads spanning from many different parts of many continents, all linking together different peoples around the world. And he created more of them and put in military bases to keep the roads safe, because before they were very dangerous, had a lot of thieves trying to steal from them, off the people, off the caravans and whatnot. And also put a bunch of supply depots along the way to make it more efficient so people could restock up and continue on their vast journeys. Also, for a unifying aspect of him, he was one of the first leaders to actually be religiously tolerant. He wanted to discuss about religion with different people and would actually send scholars from all around his empire, which, by the way, is the second largest landmassed empire in history, only the British Empire being more. And he would send scholars from all around, from different religions, and he would have discussions with them. And he was very curious about different people's perspectives, and he wanted to learn them, which goes to show you a good side of Genghis Khan. Now, he did murder many millions and millions of people, and that's by unifying through violent means is always not good. And a lot of historians have said that if it wasn't for Genghis Khan, now many different aspects of our life today would not be the case, and the world would probably be an extremely different place, because he connecting our worlds actually, in my opinion, led to one of the first instances of globalism and a connection of the world, interconnecting the whole world together, both giving them the same great things, the same great innovations because of the spreading of ideas, and the same great resources, which led to the success of different civilizations, but also the bad things. And some of those bad things were actually mice and rats that were taken from Asia and were brought to Europe. And those rats would be later considered the main cause of terrible things such as the bubonic plague or the Black Death, which killed more than half of Europe and destroyed European society, but then led to the Renaissance, because the Black Death had spurred the Renaissance because of a lower population, higher surplus. It allowed people to focus less on agricultural and agrarian type life and focus more on thinking and science and arts and all kinds of other different things like that. And if it wasn't for the Renaissance, then it wasn't for the Enlightenment and all other different events that happened throughout our world, not only in Europe. I'm not professing the Eurocentrism, but throughout the whole world, and that would have never happened if it wasn't for this great tragedy such as the bubonic plague. Now, on that note, I will have to say, surrounding all of this recent news with COVID-19 or the coronavirus, I just wanted to tell all of you to stay safe out there, stay clean, and most importantly, stay calm. Do what the World Health officials tell you to do. Wash your hands, avoid as much human contact as possible, and avoid the major assemblies of humans. So, for instance, like airports or cruises, or especially like conferences or things like that. And because it is shaking up our lives as we speak right now. My school, University of New Orleans, actually just switched to online classes because they're shutting down the school because of the spread of this virus all over the place. Millions of people are being quarantined around the world. People are being separated from their families in Europe. I've even talked to some people who've had this happen to them, and this virus is shaking up our lives, and you can take the steps to make sure that not only your life, but the life of your family and the life of your community and overall the life of the world is still safe in our gigantic, globalistic, interconnected society. And on that note, I would have to say, please go subscribe to my channel. It's very much appreciated. And ring that notification bell to stay up to date on all my most recent content. Have a great day, okay? Stay safe out there.